Yogi, come onto your hands and your knees. Connect with your body and your breath and prepare yourself to enter the practice of yoga. We begin with dog and cat tilt, using an inhalation to open into dog and an exhalation to round the spine into cat, looking into your navel. Weave the two postures onto the flow of your breath. Invite yourself to slow down and to come inside your own experience. Now we're going to enter the Shakti Kriya, a flowing sequence of movements. So from cat tilt, we undulate forward on an inhale into cobra, keeping the arms straight, opening the chest and looking skyward. From cobra, the exhale takes us back into baby pose. The inhale now slithers us forward through the hands to cobra, the second cobra. And the exhale draws us back into downward facing dog. The third cobra is the floating cobra as we hover forward, keeping the legs off of the ground, inhaling and then exhaling to return to downward dog. You can now step your right foot forward into lunge as you combine lunge with bowing warrior. Using the inhalation to open the heart into lunge, looking skyward, and then using the exhalation to draw the hips back as you stretch into the right hamstring and bow over your right thigh. Using your breath to ease through the tensions. We're now going to connect from bowing warrior to triangle pose, hopping your back heel down on a 45-degree angle, and then using your inhalation to open your body into triangle. Connect with the pulse of your breath as you draw your legs straight, lifting the left hip bone, opening the belly and the chest to send the energy out through the wingspan of your arms. Your gaze is towards your left hand thumb. From triangle, we swivel and turn on an inhalation into warrior lunge, and then take the exhale to travel back to downward dog. We now enter our Shakti Kriya, lowering into dog tilt on the inhalation, looking up, into cat tilt as we exhale, undulating forward into the first cobra, inhaling, into baby pose, exhaling, slithering into the second cobra, inhaling, back into downward dog on the exhalation to connect with the third cobra, keeping the legs floating from the floor, toes tucked under, looking up, and then back into downward dog. We now switch the sides of our lunge to the left side, stepping the left foot forward between the hands, checking that the whole of the sole of your left foot is connected to the ground and you're in a nice deep lunge. As you now float between lunge to open the hip and bowing warrior to release the hamstring. Again, keep the connect with your breath and use the exhalation to penetrate through the layers of tension in the left hamstring. Once again from Bowing Warrior, we connect with Triangle by dropping the back heel and then opening the entirety of your front body into Triangle. Connect with the pulse of your breath as you draw the energy into your legs. Open your heart and gaze towards your right thumb. From Triangle Pose, we'll be sweeping into Warrior Lunge, rotating the right arm, turning your heart to face your left thigh, lifting into the fingertips, and then Downward Dog on the exhalation. We once again enter the Shakti Kriya and the 3 Cobras. Dog tilt on the inhale, cat tilt on the exhale, the first Cobra on the inhale, into baby pose, exhaling, slithering through to the second Cobra, inhaling, Downward Dog, exhaling, and into the third Cobra, hovering forward, lowering the hips, pushing back through the heels, and then back into Downward Dog on the exhale. We're now going to come into Swan, bringing the right knee forward beside your right thumb with your right heel hooked underneath your left hip. Take your time to connect, and then use an inhale to open the heart and an exhale to bow forward over your right thigh. Keep your hands where they are in this variation of Swan. And utilize each inhalation to stretch back into your back toes as you burrow down into your right knee and extend your chest over your right thigh. It'll be an inhalation that raises the spine back up, and an exhalation to connect with a half spinal twist, swinging your back leg around and placing the foot over the right knee, collapsing the spine. Use an inhale to lengthen your back, and then an exhale to turn to the left and into the spinal twist. Use each inhalation to ground your body into the earth through your buttocks and your right foot, climbing up into your spine and your chest, and then use the exhalation to twist as you gaze over your left shoulder. Work into the posture breath by breath. To come out of this Kriya, turn back to the front, crossing the legs. Roll onto your hands and the tops of your feet, and then step back on an exhale into Downward Dog. Once again, we take the Shakti Kriya and the 3 Cobras. Inhaling to Dog Tilt, exhaling to round into Cat, inhaling to undulate the spine into the first Cobra, exhaling to sink back into baby pose, inhaling to slither through into the second Cobra, exhaling to Downward Dog, inhaling to come into the floating Cobra, and exhaling to return to Downward Dog, ready for the other side of the Swan, bringing the left knee forward to the left thumb and using the exhale to gently settle into your hips. Square yourself with the front of the mat. Use an inhale to lift and open your chest, and an exhalation to bow forward over your leading thigh. Take your time to settle into the pose. Compose yourself inwardly. Soften your heart and your brain. And then connect with the pulse of the breath as you extend and lengthen the body into the inhalation and melt through the tension in the hip on the exhalation. Using an inhalation to raise up from your swan, rolling onto your left buttock to swing your back leg around and in to the base posture for the twist. Inhalation extends the spine, and exhalation twist to the right, gazing over your right shoulder. Your right hand is now used as a prop to help keep your spine upright, and your left elbow is used as a leverage around your right knee or right thigh. Each inhalation lengthens the spine, and each exhalation wrings the spinal muscles out as you deepen into the twist. Again, let the posture be gradual and progressive. To come out, once again cross the legs, roll onto the hands and the tops of the feet, and then step back into downward dog, into the Shakti Kriya. Dog tilt on the inhale, rounding into cat on the exhale, undulating forward into the first cobra on the inhale, exhaling to baby pose. Inhale slithers forward into the second cobra. Exhale brings us back into downward dog. Inhaling into the third cobra, floating the legs above the floor, and exhaling back into downward dog. We're now going to return to the cross-legged posture at the front of our mat. On an inhale, exhale. From here we come into the Danda Kriya, extending the legs forward into Dandasana, exhaling to settle, interlacing the fingers, raising the arms into the inhale, and then bowing forward into the full forward bend on the exhale. Make a connection with either your toes or your ankles or shins. And then use your inhalation to lift and extend your spine, finding a dog tilt in your hips, and then using your exhale to progressively bow over your thighs. Be patient, work inwardly, maintain your inner composure, and use your exhalation to enter into the depth of your bow. To come out of the full forward bend, we return to an arm raise on the inhale, and then the exhale brings the hands behind the back as you bend your knees, bringing your heels halfway back towards the buttocks. The inhale then lifts us into tabletop, raising the hips and releasing the head back. Continue to work with the pulse of your breath to lift your tailbone on the inhale and release your neck into the exhale. An exhale brings us back down onto the buttocks, Extend into Dandasana, and then lie down on your back, hugging your knees into your body, ready for the Amrita Kriya, beginning with bridge pose, placing your feet down by your buttocks, hip width apart, and then peeling your spine off of the ground as you lift your buttocks. Do what you can now to bring your shoulder blades in towards one another, and perhaps interlacing the fingers as a variation. Each inhalation raises the chest towards the chin and the hips towards the sky. You can release your bridge on an exhale. Hug the knees into the body, and then crossing your ankles, grab a hold of your big toes and rock and roll yourself up into cross-legged, and then exhale yourself back into the base position for the half shoulder stand. Again, bring your shoulder blades underneath you as you did in bridge pose. Place your hands securely on your lower back, and when you get your inner cue, raise your legs into the half shoulder stand. Look to create a dog tilt in your hips, so your hips rest into your palms and the chest rises towards your chin, just as we had in bridge pose previously. Now inwardly secure your breathing as you empty the energy from your legs down into your spine to restore your body and rejuvenate your system at the end of your practice. To come out of the shoulder stand, bend the knees towards the forehead, release the arms to the floor to act like brakes, and then roll yourself back up into cross-legged, ready for fish pose. Coming down onto your elbows, supporting your lower back with your thumbs, and your hips with the spread of your fingers, and then using an inhale to raise into your chest, and an exhale to release your neck back into the fish pose. Use an inhalation to raise yourself back up into your cross-legged posture. And you're now ready to complete your practice with double breathing. Taking an inhale into the heart, an exhalation down to your roots. Relax a passive inhalation into your abdomen and begin double breathing. Deep inhale up into your heart, and an exhale to release the energy into your body. Enter dynamic stillness.